A very good Thursday evening, race fans, and welcome to Fox Sports 1's live coverage of race number 18 of the 2016 ARCA Racing Series. Tonight, it's the Scott 150 as we celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Chicagoland Speedway.
17 races down. Only 3 to go until a champion is crowned.
The battle's on. We have a new leader.
We've had 12 different winners so far.
Briscoe is cooking.
And tonight could see checkers for a lucky 13th. As the ARCA Racing Series heads to Chicago, a 1.5-mile D-shaped oval. Chicagoland Speedway is not for the faint of heart.
Cody Coughlin brings out our third caution.
Like anything in the Windy City, you'll have to work for it. Track position is earned. And once you get to the front, better watch your back, because everyone wants what you've got.
And welcome to Chicago. It's a full moon night as we're ready to go. There are just 3 races remaining to close out the season, and each of those are on a 1.5-mile speedway. Hi everyone, I'm Ray Dunlap along with Phil Parsons. So nice to have you with us here on FS1. You know, here at this racetrack, we've had 15 events, Phil, and 15 different winners. We know for sure there'll be a 16th tonight, so who do you have your eye on?
Well, there's 3 guys I really want to keep an eye on. One of those guys is our point leader, Chase Briscoe. He's our eventual champion here this year. He's been very fast. He's only had 1 race this year, Ray, that he didn't finish in the top 10. And he's going to be very strong tonight, starting up in the top 5. I'm also going to keep an eye on John West Townley. He's doing double duty this weekend. He won the ARCA race at Daytona earlier this year. He will also run the truck race tomorrow night here. He was very fast, also starting in the top 10. And I also wanted to keep an eye on Chad Finley. He doesn't run a lot here in the ARCA Series, only 12 starts over a number of seasons, but he's fast every time he does it. Most of the time he finishes in the top 10. He was fast in practice and also starting up in the top 5.
So I asked you for your best 3, and he gives me 3 of the top 4 qualifiers. But how are you going to win the race tonight?
I think maybe 1 pit stop. What a lot of the crew chiefs said, maybe just 1 pit stop here for tires.
All right, so strategy certainly could come into play. Pre-race ceremonies coming up. 73 degrees here at the Chicagoland Speedway. The cars are on the grid, and so are the teams. And now it's time to get things started.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as the 347th Air Force Recruiting Squadron presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as ARCA Chaplain Caleb Higgins offers our invocation.
Let's pray. God, we thank you for allowing us to be here tonight to enjoy this Scott 150 race with our friends and our family. We thank you for all the blessings that you have given to us. Lord, we thank you for the men and women that are protecting our freedoms so that we can be here tonight. I ask for the protection of the drivers, the teams, the officials, and our fans. And God, I also thank you for your grace that you have given to us through Jesus. And it is in his name I pray, amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Musicality Choir of Chicago.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming.
Crowd cheering on as our drivers are getting ready to jump in the cars. You know, John West Townley kicked off the season with a big win at Daytona, and our friends from General Tire wanted to take an opportunity so that you could get to know this driver a little bit better. He didn't compete in the full season, but he's competitive week in and week out.
Hi, I'm John West Townley. I'm from Bogart, Georgia, and I drive the Zaxby's number 05 Chevrolet. When I first started racing ARCA back in 2007, I believe it was halfway through the year, I ran a few ARCA races in the full season in 2008. Back in 2013 in Daytona, I had my first win, and I believe it was in February, and it was a really cool experience for me. It was probably one of the most exciting moments in racing I've ever experienced. It's a great series to help drive up-and-coming drivers, and it's just a lot of fun to drive these cars too. I'm really excited. We've got a lot of truck races full season, and as many ARCA races as we can do, and a handful of Xfinity races. Well, we definitely want to get as many wins in this series as we can. I mean, that's the goal.
And he came out of the box with a first, a fourth, and a seventh in the first three events of the season. But Phil, he decided to concentrate more on the Camping World Trucks for that championship.
Yeah, he actually lost a few races this year with concussion-like symptoms. Had a great season last season, Ray. Won the mile-and-a-half racetrack at Las Vegas in the Truck Series, finished in the top 10 in points. Again, missed those races this year, but really has done a nice job furthering his career over the last couple of years.
His spotter, Terry Cook, said he believes they're going to be competitive tonight and tomorrow night. When we come back, we'll see the drivers and the starting lineup. Back in Chicago for the ARCA Racing Series, presented by Menards. All the drivers are in their cars and ready to go. Earlier today, we had Menards pole qualifying, brought to you by Ansel, and guess what? Shane Lee picked up his first ever career pole, brought to you by Menards.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. He was 7th quickest in practice, but really did a nice job. Just about held that thing wide open. Great lap there. Had his hands full, but it got it done.
Was absolutely flying through 1 and 2. Great run down the backstretch, so congratulations to Shane Lee on his very first pole here in the ARCA Racing Series. Also want to shine a little spotlight on one of our rookies tonight. Scott Brands is the sponsor of our Rookie Challenge, and tonight we're going to take a look at Dalton Sargent. He drives the number 55 for Venturini Motorsports, and Dalton Sargent already a winner this year. This young man from Boca Raton, Florida, has had quite a season, Phil.
It's been amazing. He got to victory lane at Berlin, but he's only had 2 finishes outside the top 10. Limited schedule, young man, just turned 18 years old not too long ago.
Great numbers for him, but also we'll be keeping an eye on the number 17. Ty Majeski has been tearing up the short tracks, and once again, he'll make a start for the Rouleau brothers tonight in car 17. And how about that number 15? I'll tell you what, Christopher Bell has really been showing them how to get it done. He's a winner here twice this year at the Salem Speedway.
Also got to victory lane in the Camping World Truck Series, and will be in our chase starting next week.
So these drivers are in the cars and ready to go. We now need to go down trackside to get the command to get things started.
And now for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshals, the Menards Contractors.
I think they may have jumped the gun a little bit there, Phil. These guys are so excited to get the race. Yes,
they were ready to get it going.
Our Menards Contractors in the yellow shirts down by the flag stand, and they said, let's get this thing going. So the engines are fired here at Chicagoland. Take a look at our onboards. Phil, you started off with car 01.
Yeah, we're going to start off with Travis Brayton. He's only made 1 start this year, but that was a top 10 finish at Michigan. He's in the Platinum Express Chevy. He won last year at LOR.
Sarah Cornett Ching will be driving car number 2. That's the Chevrolet, sponsored by Dickies. And tonight she qualified 13th, looking for another top 10 to match her great run at Pocono.
We're going to ride along in the Valvoline on board with Brandon Jones. He's the Xfinity regular. He will make their chase as well. He was a winner earlier this year in the ARCA Racing Series at Michigan, and he starts 12th.
Well, General Tire put their spotlight on John West Townley earlier, so why not give him the General Tire on board tonight? He drives car 05 and qualified 3rd in his Chevrolet tonight. Keep your eye on JWT. He's from Georgia. So we've got a couple of pit reporters covering the action tonight. Heather DeBoe is from Phoenix, Jim Trado from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's get it started with Jim.
And Ray, when you look at this field, you see a lot of young talent. One of those includes Roush Fenway Racing Development driver Kyle Weatherman. Kyle has actually only raced 12 of the races this year, but every time out in this number 10 car, he's finished top 10. 9th at Iowa, 5th at Pocono, his most recent race. This is his first race at Chicagoland Speedway, so how did he get to be 4th quick in practice and one of the contenders tonight, this number 10 machine? He talked to his good buddy Chris Buescher, gave him a lot of tips about racing around here in the nighttime. We'll see how things change from the practice earlier today. Kyle's pretty confident he has the car that will free up throughout the run. He's expecting just that. Heather, who are you talking about on your end of pit road?
Well, Jim, making his second start this season in the ARCA series is the 99 of Austin Cindric. His first start came back in June in Pocono, where he finished second. Tonight, he'll be making his way from the rear of the field because he failed to make his inline time for Tech prior to qualifying. When I talked to Austin earlier today, he said that his team has struggled a little bit, and they've been working on their setup. They said they brought the same setup as Pocono, and it did not work at all, so they changed to a more similar setup to the 77 of Chase Briscoe. But for those of you that aren't familiar with Austin Cindric, he is a very talented young driver. In the past 18 months, he's raced 50 races in 5 different countries in 13 different race cars, and it doesn't stop there. Tonight, he's on a red-eye to San Francisco because he has practice at 8 a.m. at Sonoma Raceway in the Pirelli World Challenge. That's a lot to have on your plate for an 18-year-old senior, right, guys?
Absolutely, Heather, and he'll have to do it from starting in the rear. There were 7 other cars that had problems getting through Tech, and they'll have to go to the back. We'll have racing coming your way. The Scott 150s headed up at Chicagoland right after these messages. Back in Chicago, glad to have you with us as we are closing out the season for the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. We want to take a look at our General Tire starting lineup. Actually, it's brought to you by Scott's tonight, and we see Shane Lee was on that Menards pole right beside him, the 77 of Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, got to keep an eye on that young man. Very, very fast since he unloaded here.
John West Townley, we had a spotlight on him earlier, and how about Michigan's Chad Finley? Car number 51 is on row number 2.
Here's Matt Kurzieski looking for career win number 1. He's got a couple 3 third-place finishes.
A couple of tough names in that row with Majeski and Kurzieski. Bell right there, Dalton Sargent, and here is Austin Cindric. His posted in row number 5, but he'll have to go to the rear.
Brent Sherman makes a return to the ARCA Series after 10 years away, former runner-up in the championship.
Sarah Cornett Ching and Dylan Martin in row number 7. You can see where your favorite driver starts. There's Myatt Snyder, who won his first career start at the Toledo Speedway. Travis Braden, also a winner in his first start a year ago over at Indianapolis.
There's multi-time Super Speedway winner Bobby Gerhart back in row number 10.
Gerhart, a 9-time winner. And you see some of your favorite drivers back through the field here as we show you the rest of the lineup, brought to you by Scott's tonight. You know, it was an amazing run that the number 77 of Chase Briscoe started back at the end of June. He won at Winchester and then went 4 in a row. Can he do it tonight to cap off what's been an incredible season? Well, Shane Lee's got some thoughts about that.
Yeah, this is the first mile and a half, as you mentioned, first of 3 that we're going to run this year, but he did win last time out on the Super Speedway at Pocono, the 2.5 mile.
John West Townley right there in row number 2. Going to be tough tonight for sure. We got a really good field of cars here, Phil. When I look through the lineup here, I say 15 to 17 of these cars are capable of winning tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt. And the new composite body cars look so good, Ray. And you see those cars really lined up from the front to the back. It's just an amazing display of equipment.
Well, let's get a little more update on car number 77 on the outside of row 1 with Jim Trado.
And Ray, our point leader is getting a lot of attention. I saw Cole Custer walk into his car before he climbed in. I also saw young Alex Bowman, who raced with this Cunningham team and won 4 times in the number 77 machine, stop by and check in on pit road here just a second ago. So it's a lot of interest. This kid's getting attention. I saw him walk in the pit, shaking hands at Michigan on a NASCAR weekend. So this kid has a lot of eyeballs on him right now. Alex Bowman down here to wish that team well, but he, among many others, are keeping an eye on this young Indiana sprint car racer who's tearing it up here in the ARCA Racing Series.
Well, thank you, Jim. That big-time Ford is on the outside of car number 32. The field lines up 2 by 2 as they come out of turn number 4. We're getting ready to go with race number 18 of 2016. And here we go. The green flag is out.
We got a problem about the 5th or 6th row back. Somebody didn't go.
Myatt Snyder in car number 22. Looks like he had a problem. He'll get back in line. Briscoe really drives it hard through turn number 2, and it looks looks like he's going to take it away from Shane Lee on the first lap.
Watch Kurzieski, the 52, try to take third place away from John West Townley in the 0-5. Bad bump right there over the tunnel, Ray. All the drivers were talking about how that upsets the car.
You could really see it that time on that shot a lot, but Townley is going to go to the high side and draft back by Matt Kurzieski in car number 52.
There's a good side-by-side battle among teammates. You've got Christopher Bell, the 15, on the inside, Dalton Sargent, the 55, on the outside.
Boy, Sargent did a really nice job in that win up at Berlin. Actually, as you mentioned, his stats have been fantastic all season long, but these guys battling side by side as they roll through the corner, and the yellow is out here on lap number 2. Don't see any contact with the wall, so we'll try to get an update from the ARCA Racing Series officials here of why we went to yellow so quickly. Oh, they're telling us a side window has popped out of a car, and we believe maybe it's that Ansel Menard's Toyota of Matt Kurzieski.
And that'll bring Matt to pit road, too. These guys are not allowed to continue on the racetrack without that side window.
Aerodynamics so important here, Phil. And
it's also a safety measure as well. There you see that. Looks like maybe Dalton Sargent or Christopher Bell ran into that. You can see it fly over the top of the Valvoline car.
Yep. So the ultimate question is, does the team have one that's ready to go in and fitted? The safety crew will have to come out there to get that debris off the racetrack. So right away, we're under yellow here at Chicagoland. We only made it 2 laps, but we'll be back with more racing from the ARCA Racing Series. For the first time ever, there's a chase in the Camping World Truck Series, and tomorrow night right here at Chicagoland, the last opportunity for a driver to work his way in. Daniel Hemrick and Timothy Peters are really good in the points, but if we have a first-time winner, that could all change, and it happens tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, right here on FS1, or you can watch it on Fox Sports Go.
And our defending Cup champion, Kyle Busch, will also be in the field tomorrow night.
He's had a pretty good average here. 1.8 is his average finish. We'll see how he does tomorrow night. And here's a little look back at that window popping out of the number 52 car. For more on that, let's go down to the track side and check in with Heather.
Yeah, Ray, as you guys saw, the right side window popped out. He came down, they had it fixed, but he asked his team, how did that pop out? What happened? And they said, you know what, we're not really sure if it was clipped in or not. But as you guys may remember, in Pocono back in June, they had the same thing happen. So this must be an issue maybe with the body or the car that they might want to look into fixing moving forward.
Interesting.
Yeah, I believe I would be looking for another one just in case there wasn't an issue with it not being latched in. If there was a problem, then the thing could fly out again.
And again, it is a rule that you must have that window in there at all times. So if it pops out, they'll have to go to the pit area. And that could have happened, you know, at a very inopportune time for Matt Kurzieski. But they are able to get that fixed. He's back on track. And we're going to take one more short break. Back with more ARCA Racing coming up. You're watching the Scots 150. 6 laps are complete. The pace car has gone to the pit area. We've only run 1 lap under green so far, but we'll see if we can do better than that as the green flag is back out and Chase Briscoe goes to the point.
Nice push from the 10 of Kyle Weatherman. Let's see if Kyle can hold on to that second spot side by side now with Shane Lee.
St. Charles Glass, the sponsorship on car number 10 for Weatherman. He's out of Wentzville, Missouri, and he will take second spot.
Great move by Weatherman. He's going to bring Dalton Sargent in the 55 along with him.
Spotter may want to start talking to car 32 and tell him out that high line. It seems to really be working.
Check out that. Here we're going to ride along with John West Townley. He's going to go through the middle here. See Shane Lee all the way down on the apron of the racetrack.
We've seen people do that a lot in qualifying here, Phil, but I didn't know you'd do it in the race.
Just try to make it as short as you can, and it's not much rougher down there than it is on the racetrack.
That's our General Tire on board with John West Townley. He is right in front of the 55 of Sargent, and here goes the 51 down to the inside. He's glued right on that white line.
Yeah, that's what Chase Briscoe told me. That was the way to get through those bumps. Keep your left sides glued to that white line.
There we see Kurzieski also going down off the track. That's right at the flag stand in the very center of the tri-oval where those guys are going off the racetrack. Kurzieski there.
Yeah, a little bit of a bobble in the center of the corner.
Yeah, he lost a spot there, and it looks like Myatt Snyder's Louisiana Hot Sauce Ford is going to take it away.
Let's watch this 22. See right side of your screen, this last lap. A little bit of contact there from the 48 of Dylan Martin. And what a gorgeous car that is, too, that 48. That's honoring Richard Petty. That's the team that Richard's grandson, Thad Moffitt, drives for.
That is a beautiful car for sure. And it's amazing when you look at these cars, Phil, just how nice they look now with these new 5-star composite bodies. So many of these teams with great sponsorship this year. Just look right there in your screen. That is some nice looking race cars on the track.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's a battle of winners this year. That's Tom Hesher, the 25 on the outside. Myatt Snyder, the 22 on the inside. And there's Kersieski, really a nice recovery after stopping to put that side window back in. Back up here in the top 15 already.
Hesser's from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, but listen to his last few races. 8th, 7th, 6th, 1st, and 2nd. That's a nice little run for Tom Hesser.
Yes, it is. They made a crew chief change mid-season, and they've really seemed to click.
Dave Leinert calling the shots now for Hessert, and he's on the high side. The 25 up, 52 down, and looks like Kersieski's going to take the spot.
See, Myatt Snyder, that 22 car is moving in on the 98. That's Brent Sherman. Again, we talked 10 years since he ran an ARCA race.
Here's your leader, Briscoe, in the Big Time Ford. They have had an absolutely incredible season. His crew chief is Chad Bryant, the leader in the Cometic Crew Chief Award right now, and Chad's won it a couple of years in a row, and I believe he's a lock for it again this year. Briscoe has locked up our short track challenge, which is sponsored by Protect Plus. Want to get an update on the number 17, back to Jim Trado.
The first chance for the number 17 driver, Ty Majeski, out of Wisconsin, to race on a track this big. This young man's tearing up the short tracks in the Midwest, but now he's getting coached by David Pepper, his spotter, who's been very much on the stand for Johnny Sauter and other drivers, including here in the ARCA Series last year for Ken Schrader's team. This young man has the car that went to a lot of race wins with Chris Buescher behind the wheel, but he's getting a lot of education now in his first time on a track at a mile and a half in traffic by David Pepper on the spotter stand. So veterans surrounding him, including Gary Rule, that championship crew chief, and this team helping out this 22-year-old.
36 career wins for the Rulo brothers, and of course they're from Chicago, so boy, what would it mean for them to be able to pull off a win right here at the home track?
It would certainly mean a lot, and let's take note that that is a steel body car racing up there with those composite bodies cars. That's the highest running steel body car we have right now.
Ty Majeski, as Jim said, been winning a lot of races. We went to Madison, which is really his home track, and they were incredibly disappointed with a 4th place run there. We had a real long green towards the end, and they just weren't dialed in, but Majeski went there with the ideas of picking up a win in his first career start.
Okay, here's a battle for the 3rd spot right there. That's Weatherman, the 10 car, and the 51 of Chad Finley. In that battle for 3rd, there's John West Townley right behind them in 5th.
All-Star Performance parts on the side of the 51 for Finley, also Auto Value on the hood, and that's a good-looking race car. They were fast all day today in practice.
Yes, they were. Again, they haven't made many starts, just a couple starts this year, but again, they've been fast each and every time.
So Finley trying to work on Weatherman. Weatherman running back in 3rd spot. These guys are almost 5 seconds behind our leader, Chase Briscoe, right now.
Yeah, but Shane Lee is really stuck in there with him. There's Shane, the 32 car, a pole sitter.
Hello.
Really did a nice job at Pocono with a top 5 finish. That was his best finish of his career here in the ARCA Series, and he's really following that up with a great run here.
Shane Lee driving for Wintron. Wintron Motorsports has 13 career wins here in the ARCA Racing Series, so no doubt about it, they can get the job done. Car number 32. Boy, he's right on the back of Briscoe now. They get in a little traffic as they come up on Thomas Prater in the DK Lockford. And boy, I thought it looked like the 32 might be able to get up there and challenge for that position.
Yeah, he's staying right with Chase Briscoe. As you mentioned, these guys have pulled out almost 5 seconds over our 3rd place battle.
100 laps tonight here at the Chicagoland Speedway. We're coming up on 1/5 of the way through that. Chase Briscoe, you know, it's such an interesting story, Phil, whenever we talk about Briscoe, and the fact that this young man had not run hardly any pavement races coming into this season. He ran really short tracks, ran sprints and midgets on dirt, and all of a sudden he comes here and just takes to it.
Yeah, he just ran a couple ARCA races last year. I think he ran at Salem, and he also ran at LOR. Had 2 top 10 finishes, so we knew that he was going to be very good, but
been such a special season. Again, less than a handful of asphalt starts prior to this season.
Pretty much a lock for the championship is Chase Briscoe unless something crazy goes wrong. Their consistency this year has been absolutely phenomenal, but right now Shane Lee said, don't think you're going to run away with the win tonight. I'm coming after you in my Toyota.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Shane Lee. That's Kevin Sawinski's team right there, Wintron, and they've always been good, always had great ARCA Racing Series cars, as well as good Truck Series entries. But Shane is really doing a nice job. He's from Hickory, North Carolina. He was a regular at the Hickory Motor Speedway for a number of years.
So Shane Lee trying to close it in on Chase Briscoe a little bit. Is 20 laps complete here from Chicagoland. Folks, I hope you're ready for one of the biggest games in college football because it's coming your way Saturday. For the first time in 33 years, it's number 3, Ohio State. The Buckeyes are taking on number 14, the Oklahoma Sooners, and you can see it on Fox Saturday night at 7 o'clock. You better believe I'll be watching.
Yeah, you'll be pulling for Ohio State.
I think I might. JT Barrett and the boys gonna roll. Football coming your way Saturday at 7 Eastern. Here's AJ Fike in car number 27, putting a little bit of a pick down, and that is going to change our leader. We got a new leader here at Chicagoland. Shane Lee back to the point in car number 32.
Yeah, Shane took advantage of the 77 of Briscoe being stuck in behind AJ Fike in the 27. See, Chase got a little bit sideways, but he knew the 32. His spotter told him the 32 was coming on the outside. Right. He couldn't pull out for the block. Great job by Shane Lee.
Wow, he was a lot more sideways than I thought by that view.
Yeah, he was. And look at the gap now Shane Lee's opened up over Chase Briscoe.
You know, this has been a great learning experience season, though, for Shane Lee. And look at this. Guess what? Kershiewski has lost his right side window again. He's coming to the pit area because they've been black flagged. And now he is spun out, so we will see if...
The ARCA officials have black flagged him because, again, and we speculated, Ray, when that side window came out in the very start of the race, that unless that thing wasn't latched, I would be really worried about that thing coming out again, and sure enough it did. That's going to bring out a caution because he's in the grass between pit road and the racetrack.
It seems like he may have stalled out after spinning there trying to get to pit road. Now he fires it up and is able to roll in here.
Yeah, that's...
Pit road is closed at this point. So I don't know how they'll handle that because he did attempt to come to pit road while we were under green. So anyway, nevertheless, whether there's a penalty or not, he's already got a penalty because he's had to come to the pit area for a second time.
Yeah, he's losing a second lap right now as well. The leaders just went by his position on pit road. So you can see the ARCA officials are waving at him, say you have to put another side window in before you leave pit road to go back on the racetrack.
So we know that they have a spare. Almost everybody has a crash cart, but what happens after you've lost your spare?
And you go get one off the backup car if you have one. And I think I would want to latch that thing in and see if the ARCA racing officials will let me put a little bit of tape to hold that thing in, because obviously the other one was latched in for sure, the second one, and it did stay in.
Take a look at our replay here. You see Kershiewski coming in. He misses the orange cone.
Yeah, missed the commitment line as well. But again, he's already been lapped, and that may even result in another penalty because he missed the commitment line coming in.
See his roof spoilers come up there, and that, as he spins around backwards, keeps that car planted firmly on the asphalt. But we did have to go to caution for the second time. So now we have had 2 cautions today, and both of them are for the 52 side window. Now you see at the very top of your screen, the green light is on right now, so that does mean that pit road is open. So I would imagine with 29 laps complete, some of them are heading that way. We see the 32 coming that direction. Let's get to Heather.
Kyle Weatherman is complaining that he is too loose under throttle, so really free under throttle. So they're planning on doing 4 tires here, a track bar adjustment, and air pressure. When I talked to Kyle Weatherman earlier today, he said that he feels really confident about his race car, and he says that realistically he feels he could get a top 10, top 5 finish, or maybe even win, as long as they can make clean pit stops and make the changes they need in order to get the race car to the front. Jim?
The car in the middle of your screen is Shane Lee, our point leader now, our race leader. He spent just a few laps at the point, but now we see a bit of overflow. spewing the water coming out of the overflow hose on the right side of the base of the windshield. That's something they did not anticipate. They just had clean air for a few laps. He said it was just a bit snug off of turn 2, so they made an air pressure adjustment. Hopefully not too much water escape. And the car on the bottom already down and away with 4 tires is Chase Briscoe. Briscoe told his team, whatever you want to do, keep it as close to what I have as possible. They decided to make 4-tire change and added some Sunoco fuel. The General Tires are on that machine, and Briscoe is down and away from pit stall 1.
Car number 51, Chad Finley, is going to be the big loser on that round of pit stops as he came in 3rd position. Will go out in 5th or 6th. Back with more racing from Chicagoland right after this. What a season it's been in the ARCA Racing Series. John West Townley kicked it off at Daytona. Then a first-time winner for Josh Williams.
And another one right here, Christopher Bell at Salem.
Let's add another one. How about Gustine at Talladega?
Well, just do one more. Myatt Snyder at Toledo.
All right, Parker Kligerman got it done on the road course. And then Grant Enfinger, last year's champion, came back at Pocono.
Brandon Jones wins his 3rd career race at Michigan.
Williams once again at Madison. That's his 2nd of the season. And then Briscoe started on his incredible roll. He was going for 5 in a row. It did not pay off, but 4 is a pretty good number.
Yeah, it is. Once they came in bunches once he got that first one.
Dalton Sargent stopped that run at Berlin, and then our most recent winner on the dirt was Justin Haley, followed by Tom Hessert.
And Christopher Bell goes back-to-back at Salem, both wins this year.
And here are our first career winners. There are 7 of them this season. We had 10 a year ago, Phil, and I'm not sure we're done with 3 races to go.
Oh, that's right. We've got a lot of guys up there competitive. Chad Finley's looking really, really strong.
Let's go down trackside, check in with Heather once again.
Myatt Snyder is in the garage. Prior to this, he complained about a vibration in the rear end. The team has found that he has a right rear drive plate that is broken, so that is what they are fixing at this time. Now, he also told me earlier that he said that something kind of felt weird all day long with the car, but he wasn't quite sure what it was. This may be it. But they're trying to get him out as quickly as possible because coming into this race, they were 3rd in owner points, only 60 out of 2nd. So they're hoping to get the car fixed and get it out as quickly as possible.
No question that's going to hurt him in the owner's points. And Phil, we've talked about Cunningham Motorsports all year long. They've got an opportunity to do something people don't do very often, which was win a driver's championship, owner's championship together, and it would be the first for Kerry Shearer.
Yeah, I was talking to Kerry earlier, and he said we've never done that before, so he's really, really anxious about that. He said, I feel pretty comfortable and confident about the driver championship because Chase has almost a 500-point lead with 3 to go. He said, but we have about a 300-point lead in the owner's race. He said, I'm not going to count any chickens before that.
Take a look at some of our onboards tonight. Here we want to get back to Sarah Cornett Ching. She's driving that Dickies onboard, and right now she has been to the pit area and had a little service done.
Yeah, she was 11th at Salem her last time out.
Travis Braden will come up next with our Platinum Express on board, driving a Chevrolet.
I was talking to Travis after practice. He said, I don't know what's wrong here. We're going to really throw the kitchen sink at it. Qualified pretty well and has run really well in this race.
Come out with a composite body car for the first time, and as we move through the field now, we'll look at our Valvoline on board. That is Brandon Jones, and he's up to 11th position right now in his Chevrolet.
Yeah, John West Townley's been strong this entire race, stayed up in the top 5, and right now he currently resides in that 5th spot. Very, very fast car there. See some smoke coming out of Dylan Martin's number 48 car. They had some issues on pit road. They took an extended period of time on pit road working on the right front. Looked like he broke an air wrench. He lost a lap under caution.
That looks like it might be coming out of the header or something.
Yeah, but that
right?
left front tire also looks
looks
low.
wobbly.
I think they should bring that car back to pit road for sure. Some sort of an issue, whether it's a left front tire or a hub or something like that.
It looks like maybe they have an upper control arm maybe broken there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he needs to get that thing to pit road.
All right, so Martin with problems. He's down to the inside, and we're going back to Green Flag Racing. Down to the inside, the 99 of Austin Cindric, and look at this. Down to the bottom goes the 51. Chad Finley going to make it 3 wide.
How about Chase Briscoe going to take the outside and take that lead? We're 3 wide for second.
JBL on the Toyota of Christopher Bell. He's on the high side, and he is going to race door to door with the number 99, but Briscoe just goes right by the entire pack.
What great pit work by Austin Cindric guys to get him up front. That's a Penske crew that Austin Cindric used to get that track position.
And remember, he went all the way to the tail of the field when this thing started. Briscoe made a nice run.
No.
Oh, look at this. Finley with a problem. Car number 51 down to the inside of the racetrack.
What a tough break from one of our pre-race favorites here.
Good racing back through 16th or 17th on the field right now. There's the number 10 of Weatherman. He's going to get challenged by John West Townley and our General Tire on board.
Ray, we're getting a report now that Austin Cindric has not been the pit road yet.
Really?
So he got that track position by staying on the racetrack. These guys we know can go about 60 or 65 laps without the advantage of caution laps under green. So he may be trying to just stretch this out, get some track position, and make it on one stop.
Look at this. Shane Lee was thinking about going down to the inside. We're on board with Townley and our General Tire on board. That is the number 17 is right up front there. Down to the inside is the 32 of Shane Lee. Brandon Jones and our Valvoline cars in the middle. We've got cameras all over this battle.
How about that? Shane Lee all the way down next to the grass in a 3-wide battle here, and it looks like he's going to grab those spots.
Brandon Jones makes it 3 wide. He's tucked right on the white line, but he fades up through the middle. He saw a lapped car in the way, so he jumps ahead, and that let Ty Majeski. I think Majeski in that Potawatomi Ford must have said, I'm going to back off and not cause a problem. What's going on with Finley, Jim?
The left rear lug nuts were loose on the 51 machine. They had a rear end issue. He thought it was something in the driveline. It was. The left rear, after 4 tire change, was loose on Finley's 51. They've got that tire replaced. He's back out and away.
Yeah, but he's going to lose a lap here, Jim, as he heads back to the track. The leader, Chase Briscoe, has gone by Finley, so he's down 1 lap. He'll have to hope for some kind of help tonight if he's going to win here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, he maybe can get a wave around or a free pass to get back in contention. Has a very fast car.
Yeah, they're good enough to do it. It's just, will the circumstances play out?
There's our 5th place car right there. John West Townley, the 05. Brandon Jones, the 8, now running 6th.
Boy, that was some wild racing there as they came through the tri-oval. 2 or 3 rows of them, 2 deep and a 3 wide action, but up front, Chase Briscoe's big time Ford has set sail. He is on his way down the back straightaway, headed to turn 3.
You know, Shane Lee was able to match him lap time for lap time early on before this most recent caution. Now he's hung back in the 3rd spot. There's the 48 Dylan Martin still smoking from the left front there.
That's getting worse, Phil.
Yeah, the ARCA officials will bring him off the racetrack.
I think he has figured out that this problem is bigger than they may have anticipated. Lots of sparks coming out of that left front for that Empire race team, and
brand spanking new car for that outfit. It's a gorgeous race car.
Beautiful.
They're really honoring with a throwback paint scheme Richard Petty. How many times in the years past did we see those Richard Petty drive those Petty blue cars to victory lane?
Beautiful car for sure. Lots of the composite cars here tonight, and they're all fast. And here comes the 32. Shane Lee going to try to challenge the number 99 of Cindric. This is a battle for second, and Lee takes it away.
Yeah, good job by Shane Lee. Again, we're being told that the 99 of Austin Cindric has not been to pit road yet. We've already completed 41 laps. We know he can go probably 25, maybe even 30 more laps on fuel before he has to stop.
Now, is this a crew chief strategy for the 99 is saying if everybody else only pits 1 time, maybe we'll get our tires later?
Yeah, I think so. But, you know, the other guys have an option of getting tires later as well, too. But
there's more tires in the pits if they want them.
I think they wanted to see him get some track position. He was mired back, had to start at the back of the pack.
Right.
He moved his way up into the top 15 fairly easily. I think it's a good move. Let him run up front with these guys a little bit.
Well, one driver we have not talked about tonight is Josh Williams in the Musselman's Applesauce number 6, and that car has been a complete disaster today. Williams is off the racetrack in 26th. He has been a points contender throughout the course of the season, but haven't seen much of him today here at Chicagoland. But we've seen a lot of Chase Briscoe. You want to get your morning started off great? Well, how about you join Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, because they go to head-to-head on all the day's hottest sports topics. It's Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. You can watch it weekdays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Pacific, only on FS1. Oh, we're coming up to the halfway point. 47 complete right now. Chase Briscoe has had his way in the big time Ford so far. We've been watching a pretty good battle where it looked like Austin Cindric was going to be able to run with him, but all of a sudden it looks like Cindric's car is going away. He's lost a couple of spots. He's back to 4th.
Remember, he has the oldest tires in the field right now. He's the only guy that has not been to pit road yet. Still holding down the 4th spot there, though. It's John West Townley is moving in on him.
Just about everybody in our group that has fresh tires pitted on lap number 30. So what's the strategy for those guys later in the race?
I think I'm not comfortable making it 70 laps on fuel. I want to see another caution, but I know I can go till probably lap 90 before I would have to stop. Austin Cindric probably can only go to lap 65 or 70 before he has to stop. But I think we're gonna duck in, at least get a little bit more fuel, maybe even right side tires late if we feel like we want to gain some track position.
Now we've had a couple of cautions. First couple came out because the 52 lost his side window. But if this race would somehow keep a green flag complexion, Austin Cindric could go in, get his tires, then everybody else is forced to come back to pit road. He can make it to the end of the race.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, everyone's going to have to make, I think, one more pit stop from here. So he's not that big of a disadvantage if the race goes green. Worst thing for him is if he comes to pit road and then the caution comes out between the time he's on pit road and the rest of the field has to be in.
Lets them all come in under yellow. That would be no good for Cindric. Again, Cindric now in car number 99. He's back in 4th place. And that's John West Townley with our General Tire on board trying to chase him down in car 05.
To the left side of your screen out the window, John West Townley's car, the 52 of Krzyzewski. He's made another pit stop. He finds himself now 4 laps down.
That's a tough night, and it's been a tough season for Kenny Schrader's team. Those guys have battled all kinds of mechanical issues throughout the year.
He's headed to pit road again, Ray.
Yeah, so not a good night for the Menards and Ansel Toyota for Krzyzewski. Now here we go. Looks like the 05 is going to put some pressure on Cindric. That time they went through the center of the corner. Looked like JWT was going to try to make the pass.
Yeah, they have definitely really improved that 99 car of Austin Cindric. They really struggled a little bit with that car in practice. Got it better for qualifying, and Austin's doing a nice job here staying up in the top 5 on older tires.
Second place run at Pocono. The ultimate question is, what do you do with this young man next year? Where do you take him racing if they've got an opportunity? He's done so many different forms of racing this year. He's been really good in just about everything he sat in.
Yeah, I'd love to see him run a full truck season, maybe for Brad Keselowski, and also like to see him run some more races here in the ARCA Racing Series.
There goes Townley. He's working the high side and just can't quite keep the momentum up. They're rolling down the front straightaway by the flag stand that time. And again, this is a battle for 4th position.
Remember, Austin had a top 5 run going in Brad's truck at Canada a couple weeks ago and got turned around on the last corner of the last lap. Yeah. Whoa, side by side.
I picked him to win that race, but didn't work out, did it?
John West Townley trying to get by Austin on the outside. Austin's fighting back down low. They have the lap car of Mike Basham coming up in front of them. Mike's well out of the way.
Brand new car for Mike this week there in car number 34. Just got that put together. Working on a new chassis setup, and want to say hi to his dad, Daryl.
He was here down in the garage area. Glad to see Daryl. Yep. Been fighting some health issues. Looks great.
Fantastic. He's a longtime competitor, over 300 starts here in the ARCA Racing Series. So great to have the Bashams with us. And look at this, Townley went by, and just like that, it's a 5-car length differential between him and Cindric. This race tonight here at Chicagoland, and then there are 2 remaining, both of them on the 1.5 miles next weekend. Will be at the Kentucky Speedway, and then they will close it out at the Kansas Speedway in October. We've seen a couple of cars headed to the garage area, so for more on that, let's go back to Jim Trado.
And Chad Finley's the driver of the number 51 machine. This car actually drove to victory lane in the championship with Frank Kimmel behind it for Thor Sport, but the body was put out recently for Chad Finley and the team. You thought maybe it was lug nuts, but what turned out to be the problem, Chad?
I don't really know what happened there. Something happened on the pit stop there and broke the studs on the left rear. So unfortunate. Everybody worked super hard on this. It was a super fast race car here tonight, and just had a mechanical failure.
As Chad Finley again hoping for a good run up to second at the time. Now the 52 car behind Chad in the garage area. Matt Krzyzewski's team, they're looking at the rear axles. Both rear axles spun in that car as he left pit road, the most recent time down pit road in a trying evening.
So a couple of very fast cars sitting in the garage area, and meanwhile, Chase Briscoe is putting down some lightning fast laps right here. Car number 77 on a rail, and right now he's got almost a 2-second lead over Shane Lee.
Remember, Shane Lee was about 4 seconds behind when he took over that second spot from Austin Cindric.
Yeah.
He's cut half of that off right now. He's in, as you mentioned, within 2 seconds. There he is right there. I tell you, that 32 car is the guy that's on the move right now.
So Briscoe rolls by. We'll have our camera zoom in and show you that red and black 32 is coming in a hurry, and he is closing up that differential. He closed it up a couple of tenths that time, so we'll keep an eye on Shane Lee. Having a great night here. We're past the halfway point of the Scott 150. Hope you're enjoying ARCA racing right here on FS1. The leader is Chase Briscoe. He's going by Tom Hessert. And by doing that, he has lapped up to 11th place tonight here at the Chicagoland Speedway. I'm Ray Dunlap along with Phil Parsons. Heather DeBow and Jim Trado are covering the pit area, and it may be time for some pit stops. I'm not sure, but it looks like the 8 car of Brandon Jones may have a problem. I don't think he's heading in for a routine pit stop, Phil.
No, he was in on lap 30, so it's only been 33 laps. An obvious problem here for the 8 of Brandon Jones. He was running up in the top 10. Looked like he's trying to get the thing in gear. Maybe had a transmission issue. What's going on with that 8, Jim?
The report is something under the hood is amiss. That has an engine miss. He's going to the garage. Our Michigan winner with a brand new piece here tonight is heading back to the garage. Jones in the 8 with a motor issue.
That's our Valvoline on board for Brandon Jones. So we have seen a number of our top contenders heading to the garage tonight for various reasons.
Yeah, the attrition rate has been really high for a lot of really, really good cars here, but so far, Chase Briscoe, we talked about him, his lead only being about 1.7, 1.8 seconds. Now he's opened it up to 2.7 seconds, so he's gained a second on the second place running Shane Lee here in the last 3 or 4 laps.
Dillmore Engineering sponsors, or I should say provides the power plants for many of the teams in this series. They've coming up on producing their 100th engine. And the engine that was in Brandon Jones is number 90. So a new piece, obviously, but we'll see if they can diagnose the problem. Sometimes it's an electrical issue that's out of control of the guys from Ilmore. We don't know yet, but we'll try to get you more information.
Our leader right now is completing lap number 66, so we're going to have to keep an eye out for the 99 of Austin Cindric. He will have to come to pit road here relatively soon. He's hoping for a caution flag right now to allow him to get to pit road, but he's going to need it in just a few laps. Let's listen to the onboard and the engine with Brandon Jones' car. Almost sounds like a clutch.
Yeah,
like the clutch started slipping.
Right.
It sounded like.
Transmission issue, clutch issue, and you're right. Guess what? Here comes the 99. Cindric is going to peel off the racetrack at lap number 68. For more info, let's go down to Heather.
Those guys were trying to stretch it as far as they could to the limit here, so they waited until originally lap 63, but as you can see, it's lap 68. As for right now, Austin has said the car is really good so far. They're not going to make very many adjustments. They're just going to fuel it up and put tires on it and send him on his way.
So they give 4 General tires on to his PureTech Ford, number 99. Beautiful looking race car right there. That's one of my favorite paint schemes of all time.
Yeah, really, really nice looking car, and he really does a nice job. Really stayed up there in the top 5 for a long time on older tires than everybody else. Right now, he has to hope this race goes green, and everyone else will have to make a second pit stop.
Lap 70 in the books right now as Chase Briscoe continues to lead. The differential between he and Shane Lee at 2.68 seconds. So that has pretty much stayed fairly steady. Here's Cindric right now as he rejoined the racetrack. He's a couple laps down.
Yeah, he was getting close to being a lap down before he made his pit stop, then lost another lap on pit road. Shane Lee now is about 2.5 seconds behind. He's going to have to go by a couple lap cars. That's Bobby Gerhart in the 5 and Tommy Prater in the 9.
So Lee way down on the bottom of the racetrack. We've seen him do that a number of times tonight. He's going to roll through the center of 1 and 2, and that differential dropping just a little bit as he got caught in lap traffic, now at 3.3.
Yeah, you can really lose a lot of time if you don't catch the lap cars at the right time. Sometimes you can catch them on the straightaway and they won't affect your speed at all, but if you catch them getting in the corner or they block you coming off the corner, it really shows up in the lap time.
Moving back through the field just a little bit, here is the 0.5 of John West Townley. That's the differential that our camera just showed you from second place to third, and Townley back almost 14 seconds behind the leader right now in his Jive Chevrolet.
Yeah, he's a full 10 seconds behind our second place car right now, Shane Lee. And he has 7 seconds on the fourth place running Christopher Bell right now. And there is that fourth place running Christopher Bell. He's got Ty Majeski. Ooh,
yellow,
our second place car.
Shane Lee is into the wall here on lap 72.
What a tough break for that young man. Had such a great run going. It's going to be a real break for everyone else in this field with the exception of the 99 of Austin Cindric.
Yeah. Cindric was hoping that we would have a long green flag here and all of the front running cars would have to make their second pit stop under green. It's not going to play out very well for him tonight. And obviously our second place car has had some sort of a problem and is in the wall. It all started right in the middle of turns 3 and 4. He's almost up to the restart zone. You see there, looks like a...
Yeah, just a right front tire went down, it looks like, Ray. Tough break for Shane Lee. We talked about Austin Cindric going 2 laps down when he made his pit stop. He was right behind our leader with fresh tires. He was able to get by Chase Briscoe to get one of those laps back. So now he's only 1 lap down.
Now, Briscoe had developed a pretty big lead over 3rd, 4th, 5th, and back. I mean, that was back to 20-some seconds. But guess what? That's all a race now, too, as we get ready for pit stop.
Yeah, all gone. I think I want to come in at least put right side tires on. If I'm Chad Bryan, I may put 4 tires on. I've got the best car in the field. Let's don't mess it up by doing something wrong. I think we should put 4 tires on.
Especially with a commanding lead in the points. Why would you take those chances, I guess? But our free pass will go to Tommy Hessert in car number 25. He will get back on the lead lap. So once we get ready to go to green, well, we'll see. There might be, no, there are no other cars going to take the wave around, are there?
Well, I wouldn't think so because everyone needs fuel right now.
Yeah, they've got to pit. So should put us in a position to have 9 cars on the lead lap. And there's
Austin Cindric will take the wave around.
Okay.
And that'll put him back on the lead lap.
All right. So Shane Lee crawling out of that number 32. That's the good sign, but a lot of damage on the right side of that Wintron race car. And we see the pit road is open, and here they come. They're heading that way. So let's go get it underway with Heather.
Christopher Bell has been complaining that he is really, really tight for both of these pit stops, even including the one prior. So they're going to do 4 tires fuel. They're going to take a big swing at it again, adjust the track bar, and give him some air pressure. Jim?
05 machine in the middle of your screen. John West Townley assumed the second spot when Shane Lee hit the wall. That team is discussing what they're going to do after this pit stop. So confidence with the 05 machine. Small changes for that team. They will go forward. General Tires. The 77 overshot his pit stall. He's in pit stall 1. 4 tires and change. Crew Chief Chad Bryan asked his young driver, can we stay with the 99 or do we need to come for tires? They've elected to come for tires because Chad Briscoe said the 99 left me. That's our only chance to win this race is to put fresh, good General Tires on this machine.
Oh boy, Chase Briscoe, by overshooting his pit, came in as the leader. He's going to go out in 4th or 5th position. I know they have a very, very fast race car, but that's a costly mistake from the driver who went past the white line. And you see he's on the brakes really hard right there, but he went past, and the official says you got to back up. That cost them a couple of seconds before they could even get the jack under there, Phil.
Yeah, I'd say probably 3 or 4 seconds, and that probably equated in at least 2 or 3 spots on pit road. So a tough break for Chase Briscoe, but he's got a fast car, though.
He sure does, but he loses some spots. We'll see if he's able to shoot his way back to the front in the Scott 150. Hey, what are you doing on Saturday? Hopefully you'll be watching Major League Baseball, because we've got it for you on Fox. How about Big Papi and the Red Sox and their rival, the Yankees? Or it might be Bryce Harper and the Nationals versus the Braves. That's at 12:30 over on Fox. And Phil, I know you're going to be watching those Tigers versus the Indians. Boy, that's a tight race trying to get in for that wild card spot.
Yeah, I think the Indians may be a little bit out of reach, but the wild card's certainly within range.
It all starts 12:30 Eastern on Fox, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Lots of good baseball coming your way. That American League wild card, that has been something fun to watch for sure. Tigers and Indians both lost today.
Finish of this race is going to be fun to watch.
Oh,
we had
man.
a little bit of pitch strategy.
Now you see that number 99. He's right behind the pace car, as you said. As we get ready to go back to racing, he'll take the wave around and go around and get one of those laps back. But the 17 will be our leader. And for more on that, back to Jim.
I just talked to crew chief Gary Rullo, who again won that championship with Chris Buescher, back here part-time with his young driver development program for Roush Fenway. Ty Majeski signed up, and he signed on with 2 tires on that pit stop in this number 17 Forest County Potawatomi Ford. Gary also said we made small air pressure changes the first time, just a little air pressure this time. We want to get him out in clean air and see what this car can do and what this young man can do behind the wheel. They took the lead on 2 tires rather than 4 here on this last stop.
Well, you mentioned the Rullo brothers. I said they're from the Chicagoland area, obviously a longtime competitors here in the series, but all about the Venturinis, also Chicago folks. And let's take a look at the last 4 events we've had this year, Phil. These guys are really back on track.
Yeah, they certainly have. You can see 3 of the last 4 races they've gone to victory lane with 3 different drivers: Dalton Sargent, Tom Hesert, and Christopher Bell.
And you see at the bottom, 43rd career team win. As we look at the modern records, that puts them 2nd all-time, right behind Larry Clement. And of course, Larry run an awful lot of races with Frank Kimmel.
Yeah, he sure did, in a lot of championships as well.
10-time champion Frank Kimmel. But when we talk about Chicagoland, you got to certainly think about the Rullos and the Venturinis. There's a couple of families that have a lot of history here. Bill's dad started racing back at Soldier Field. The Rullos just up the road here.
How about Brett Sherman?
Yeah.
This is his home track as well, and he's up in the 2nd spot. Similar pitch strategy to what Ty Majeski did.
So
2
nice,
tires.
so nice to see Brett Sherman back racing. Of course, driving the number 98 for Mason Mitchell Motorsports. And for more on that 98, how about Heather?
As you just mentioned, Phil, they did take right side tires as well. I just got done talking to his crew chief, Mason Mitchell, and he said so far the car feels really good. But as you mentioned, he hasn't been in a car since 2009, so he's just trying to run his own race, stick to his line, and get a good finish. Mason told him that right now we just need to get track position, so that's why they went on that strategy for tires.
Well, thank you, Heather. You know, ARCA has so many different interesting parts to the season. They've got a national championship. Chase Briscoe pretty much has that wrapped up, but there's another little battle on the inside, and they call it the Bill France 4 Crown, excuse me. And it's so interesting, Phil, because they've got a road course on there, a short track, a dirt track, and then the 1.5 miles. And tonight we'll figure out who the winner is.
Yeah, that just illustrates how diverse this series is. As you mentioned, road course, short tracks, super speedways, and the mile dirts at DuQuoin and Springfield. And we're going to see who can get to victory lane in this one here. Right now, Chase Briscoe has probably as far back as he's been this entire race. He's back in the 4th spot.
John Markham started this series so long ago, great friends with Bill France. Those two worked together hand in hand about promoting stock car racing all across the country. Primarily NASCAR was in the South, ARCA was in the Midwest. And so great to honor Bill France as we try to find out who's going to be the best on all 4 different kinds of racetracks. Here's one of the changes for the lead tonight. The 77 of Briscoe got pinned in behind A.J. Fike, and Shane Lee went flying by.
A little bit of an issue on pit road. Overshot his pit. They had to push him back. He lost a few spots, but there's on that first restart after his first pit stop. Just took off for the lead.
Absolutely. And here's where he shoots it over. That was on our last caution that just came up, and by a 2 or 3 second differential of slowing down their pit stop, it took the 77 from the lead back to 4th position.
Yeah, this restart's going to be very, very important for this 77 car. We know he's been so good on these restarts. He will line up in the 2nd row on the outside.
22 laps to go, though, Phil. I got to believe they've got to talk to him a little bit about patience. You don't have to get that lead on the first lap after green.
I would want the lead in the first corner after they throw the green flag.
Well, that's what you drivers do,
yeah,
right?
And just go on.
Come on, baby. So 2 tires for the number 17 of Ty Majeski. The Rullos rolling the dice a little bit. We'll see how that pays off.
And why wouldn't you with Potawatomi as your sponsor?
Roll the dice. If you got a casino on there, so that's pretty good. We see the cars getting lined up, ready to go again. The 52 is coming back out of the garage area, so we'll have a chance to watch Krzyzewski rejoin the field after making repairs to that car. Lights are out on the pace car here as we're at the Chicagoland Speedway. It's a 100-lap race tonight. We're coming up on 80 complete when we take the green flag.
Yeah, we're getting a report that John West Townley likes his car on the outside of the racetrack too. He wants to get out to the outside as quickly as he can. The groove during practice, Ray, was right against the white line all the way around the racetrack. Now these guys have moved that groove up. They're making a lot of speed up above that first lane.
This caution came out because Shane Lee hit the wall fairly hard between turn 3 and 4. We saw him climb out of the car, and we've gotten a report that he has been released from the infield care center. So good news, even though their car was hurt pretty badly, Shane Lee is okay.
Here's Sora Cornette Ching. Right now, she's the only car being shown one lap down. She's hoping for another quick caution, maybe get that free pass and get on the lead lap.
That's our Dickie's on board. She's driving a Chevrolet, and Sarah from British Columbia doing a nice job this year. Competing in a number of different series, but hoping for another opportunity to get back on the lead lap. So down to the inside is Ty Majeski in car number 17. Brent Sherman on the high side, and here we go. Looks like to the high side is going to be the 77. Sherman did not get going.
Yeah, he spun the tires there on that initial start. That opened up the outside. Keep an eye on that 77, and there's a 0-5 of John West Townley.
77 of Briscoe putting pressure on Ty Majeski. Can he get down to the inside? No, Townley going to get to the bottom of the racetrack and prevent him from trying to use that part. To the high side goes Briscoe, and there's contact. There's going to be the 05 pushing that 17, and Ty Majeski did a great job of not spinning out that time.
And the 10 car of Weatherman bounced off the wall there. Probably saw Majeski sideways, tried to give him a little extra room, and bounced off the wall coming off turn 4.
It looked like Ty Majeski was on his way to slamming into that wall as John West Townley used his right front corner to try to duck in there. Majeski did a fabulous job of not wrecking the Ruler Brothers race car.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he's able to keep that car straight. Good battle here. There's Dalton Sargent, the 55. And here comes the 77 with those 4 tires.
Christopher Bell in the JBL race car. Number 15 for Venturini's, and to the outside goes Briscoe. Looks like he's going to take back the lead with 18 to go.
Yeah, I just don't think he's any match for those 4 tires, Ray. We saw how fast the 99 car was relative to Chase Briscoe. When he put 4 tires on in his pit stop, he drove right by him to get one of his laps back.
Briscoe's car can go just about anywhere on the track. He used a bit of patience there, but soon as he got by Christopher Bell, zoom, zoom, away he goes.
We talk about patience, Ray. Here's a lack of patience right here. Look at John West Townley. He's going to get against that 17. He went over the bump at the same time. I think he lost the front end. That's why he made contact with the 77.
25 degrees sideways goes Ty Majeski into the high side. You see the 10. He's trying to go way up to get away from that, thinking there's going to be a crash, and he gets a little right rear damage by hitting the wall.
Yeah, I don't think it really hurt his car much. He still holds down the 4th spot.
Shane Lee has gotten out of the care center, and we want to get an update from him. Heather's found him.
Thanks. Right here with Shane Lee. Shane, you took a hard lick there. First of all, are you okay? And could you feel that tire going down before it happened?
Yeah, going into turn 1 on that lap, I told the guys over the radio I felt a vibration. Luckily, I went ahead and took the high line going into turn 3 over here when it let go, but it only vibrated for about a lap or half a lap and before it let go. But I just want to thank all the guys at Wintron, the crew chief, Todd Myers, and Kevin Stawinski. They gave me the best car we had all year, and we really had a shot to win this race. And it's been us and the 77 with by far the 2 best cars. It wasn't our night.
Thanks, Shane.
Thanks.
4th place run at Pocono, the highlight so far of the season, but they were fast. Everybody knew they were here tonight. And check it out, here comes the 99. That is Austin Cindric, and Cindric is up to 8th position, trying to take 7th away from Ty Majeski.
Yeah, those 4, he only had 7 laps on his tires, Ray, when everybody else came to pit road under that caution. So he's got pretty much equal tires with these guys. Better tires than the 77, remember. I mean, the 17, he gets into his back and got it in the wall as well.
Majeski with those 2 tires trying to block down to the inside. He may have wanted to give a thought there to waving the 99 by. He was catching him awful quickly. We'll see what they do now to try to settle this. But again, this is a battle for 7th spot. They're not going for the win.
Yeah, the 17's not going to be able to hold off this 99 for long. Again, he just has better tires. Austin needs to use a little patience here. 17 needs to give him some room. He did, and there he goes.
I'll tell you what, Ty Majeski is a driving machine, because that is the 3rd time that he's had that car cocked sideways. But in my estimation, he should have gone to the high side and waved him by.
Well, the 99 was definitely there on the bottom. The spotter should have said, hey, you got one inside. Ty came down to try to take his normal line into the corner, and the 99 was there.
Remember, Majeski's already been completely jacked sideways by the 05 of Townley, and he got it that time. Looked like the 99 did a little bit of a bounce to the wall. But here's the 3rd time, as Austin Cindric clearly has a good position on the bottom. Ty's coming down to try to block, and look at that car.
About 45 degrees sideways,
wow,
and he saves it.
That's a Ron Hornaday, Johnny Benson deal right there.
Exactly.
Man,
Austin Cindric just about caught him again with that right front corner. Fortunately, he didn't.
3 times that Ty Majeski could have been hard into the wall, and he saved it each of those. Great job of driving, but again, with those 2 tires, certainly not going to be in position to win, and now Majeski is going to drop a couple spots back to 9th.
And see, the 2 cars that we know that took 2 tires on that pit stop are back in 8th and 9th. So what that tells me is the 2 tires really didn't work against these 4 tires.
It'll be interesting to see what the next opportunity is for Ty Majeski. I've watched this kid race late models all over the country. He's in contention to win the NASCAR Whelen American Championship. He really is a wheel man. It's been fun to watch. And for more on that, let's go back to the pits and check in with Jim.
Right, he's chasing a national points championship in the weekly racing series for NASCAR. He's out of Wisconsin, but they're done racing at the tracks he can score points at. So this Saturday, he's going to chase a 3-race battle to the finish by going to Elko, Minnesota, running that 3/8 mile in a twin feature night to try to capture that championship. To answer your question, next time we'll see these young men in an ARCA Racing Series car at Kansas Speedway, our season finale.
Well, thank you, Jim, for that update. Certainly fun to watch him drive for sure, and he's already had a great deal of success in ARCA's lower divisions in the truck series, trying to work his way up through the ranks, and he's done a whale of a job here tonight.
Yeah, he really has. I think it was a pretty good attempt to put 2 tires on the car to see what happened. It didn't work out, but it was worth a shot for sure.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, here is the number 77 of Chase Briscoe, and he is picking him up, still putting him down, running very, very competitive laps as we're inside a 10 to go here tonight in the Scott 150.
Yeah, John Westtown was trying to chase him down. Remember last time on a super speedway, John West finished 2nd at Pocono. He'd like to do one better than that, but a pretty good effort to start the weekend for John West.
Right before we went to caution, Phil, I started to say about the learning experience it's been for Chase Briscoe this year. It has been so fun to listen to him on the radio with his crew chief, Chad Bryant, talking about the things he's learned, talking about the way you can make long runs in these cars, about using the brakes, but it's also about learning pit road and the differing varying factors of running these bigger and longer races. And that's what this series is about, to give you that opportunity. Tonight he made a mistake. Guess what? They overcame that mistake, and he's right back in a position to win another race.
Yeah, what an outstanding season that young man has had with so much limited experience. We talked about it. But again, only 1 finish outside the top 10, and that was Salem, the first race this year. They had a loose wheel. He probably was going to win that race, so he could very easily have finished every single race this season in the top 10.
Absolutely. Great run for Christopher Bell, too. Bell is up to 3rd position. This young man, 2 wins this season, both of them coming at the Salem Speedway.
He's not done racing this weekend as well. We'll see him tomorrow night on FS1 in the Camping World Truck Series.
All that action will get underway tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern on FS1, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. That's the Truck Series, and it's the final race of the season to find out who all will be in the chase. 8 drivers going for the championship, and we've got 2 locked in points right now, but if we have another first-time winner, that all could change.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I know there's been a lot of sleepless nights for Daniel Hemrick and Timothy Peters and all those other guys trying to get in that chase.
Timothy Peters, the last man standing. There is Jordan. That is Jordan, his girlfriend, on the left. We're talking about Chase Briscoe. And to the right, that is his crew chief, Chad Bryant, who's been calling the shots for this young man this season. And you see on the left side of the screen, here comes Weatherman in car number 10. He's getting close to Christopher Bell, and they're going to have a good battle for third.
Yeah, Weatherman obviously bouncing off the wall there. Oh, the second time he's bounced off the wall, off of turn 4.
He's like, I'll do whatever it takes to be fast.
I started to say that really hasn't affected that car. We'll have to wait and see whether this one did or not.
Second place run at Madison, the highlight for Weatherman this year. Last year he went to Victory Lane on the road course in New Jersey.
He's finished second 8 times in his young career in the ARCA series.
That's an impressive number for sure.
Look how high Christopher Bell's running now. Getting a little practice in to run the top of the racetrack for tomorrow night. And one more time was put Weatherman in the outside wall.
It's like watching Majeski get sideways and save it. They just keep doing it. 3 laps to go tonight here in the Scott 150. Ray Dunlap with Phil Parsons, Heather DeBow, and Jim Trado. Glad you could join us tonight on FS1. The ARCA Racing Series winding down after tonight. Just 2 more mile-and-a-half races to go as we'll go to Kentucky next weekend and then off to Kansas.
Let's see if Weatherman can negotiate turn 4 here without bouncing off the wall. Much better, much better.
The differential from Briscoe to Townley is almost 7 seconds right now. So as we close into 2 laps to go, if there's no problem with Chase Briscoe, I don't see any challenge coming from Townley, but these guys are trying to work out who's going to be in position. And here's another battle as Travis Braden's on the high side and the number 99's going after 6th spot.
Yeah, that's Austin Cindric trying to grab that 6th spot here. Nice pass by Austin. Let's give Austin 6th. Still a good run for Travis Braden. So little super speedway experience, only 1 time before, maybe 2 times before, running up in the top 10 here.
He went to Lucas Oil Raceway last year, won in his first career start. They have the same engine in that car tonight. That's how diverse this ARCA Elmore engine program is. You can take them anywhere. And here comes Briscoe right now as he comes on the final lap. He's going to take the checkers tonight at Chicagoland, and he's going to win again on his way to a championship in the ARCA Racing Series.
And win number 5 for Chad Bryant right there, his crew chief, and Chase Briscoe. Cunningham Motorsports. I don't guess we can say he locked up the championship, but we know he's going to win the championship.
As long as he's able to start our final 2 races of the season, because there's a major bonus structure in the ARCA series for going to every event. So if he's able to go to Kentucky and roll into Kansas and fire his engine, he will be our champion. The big time Ford back to Victory Lane tonight. And Cunningham picks up their 7th win of the season. Jim Trados with his crew chief.
And you gauged off your teammate Austin Cindric to make that call, Chad, to get that car down on pit road for 4 tires, the winning move, if you will. How difficult was that for you to make, knowing that you were trying to strategize towards the end of this race?
Well, the reason I run down there was it had a green outlook, and I was wanting to see what their fuel mileage was. You know, our history here, a couple years ago, we had to fill the lap down to run out of fuel off of Mills calculation here in the pits, but tonight we didn't have to worry about that. The caution we needed came. We got our 4 tires, and the best car won tonight.
Talk about your communication with this young driver 1 year ago, hoping to get a chance, running sprint cars 4 or 5 times, and you guys said, you personally said, I believe in this kid, let's give him a chance. How satisfying is this win for you and this team?
It's just so special. The kid's like my little brother. It goes further than that. We literally have a bond that you can't describe, you can't replace. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for my guys. I've got a great group: Bob Melvin, Dale Fredericks, Jeff Selstead, and I got to thank all the guys on the 22 car. They help us week in and week out. This is a company win. Appreciate them all.
Chad Bryant, the winning crew chief, again here for Chase Briscoe, is burning it down in the front stretch.
Well, thank you, Jim. Briscoe grabs the checkered flag, gets up on the window of that big-time Ford, waves at the crowd, certainly showing their appreciation of this young driver. And with that win tonight here at the Chicagoland Speedway, he will pick up the Bill France 4 crown. He also won the Short Track Challenge, which is sponsored by Protect Plus, and Phil, like we said, he's almost a lock for the championship. What a year for Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, an amazing year for this young man and this team too, and really great to see for Briggs Cunningham and Kerry Shear all the success they've had this year.
The diversity of scoring the most points on the short tracks There's quite a few guys that come in and say, that was my background, I can do it. But to be able to score the most points for the Bill France 4 Crown, that's quite an accomplishment. You have to be good on the short tracks, the road course, the dirt, and 1.5 miles, and this young man has done it this year.
He's been flawless just about this entire season. Got a couple more 1.5 miles to finish it off.
2 more races to go in the ARCA Racing Series before we can officially say Chase is the champion, but he has had a championship caliber year, and he's in victory lane tonight. We'll hear from him when we come back to the Scott 150. You're watching ARCA at the Chicagoland Speedway. We're getting you warmed up for some great racing to come your way here at Chicagoland Speedway. It's Thursday night action tonight right here on FS1. And Chase Briscoe has taken his big-time Ford to victory lane for the 5th time this season. It was quite an event. He really pretty much had the dominant car throughout the evening, and Jim Trado is there. Let's hear from our winner.
Second time on a super speedway, this young short tracker has it going on. 13 times in the top 5 this season. That's how magical it is for this team. It's 18 events. And Chase, when it came down to making that call, those tires, how important was that to get those 4 fresh General tires at the end?
Yeah, it was huge to get those General tires. I mean, obviously they bring us a great tire, but at the same time, we had a lot of laps on them, and Chad and me kind of contemplated there. And once Cinder came out there after taking 4 tires, he just left us. So we really knew that was the key there, was to come down and take tires. And just so proud of these guys. They've been working their tails off this past week, and we got a long couple weeks ahead. And just so glad to get big time another win. And just can't thank Briggs and Kerry and just everybody involved in this deal. Texicon, and just so blessed by our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Just unbelievable where I was last year to where I am now. Just can't thank everybody enough.
This is the 3rd race in 11 days, and you've been fast on the board everywhere you've gone. What has been the difference for you learning throughout this year in the most recent events?
I don't know, honestly. It's we've been good all year long. Obviously, Chad and just everybody at Cunningham brings great race cars, and it makes my job a lot easier. And we just had a lot of bad luck this season where we're kind of giving away wins, and tonight we executed, and that's what happens when we execute.
Congratulations, Chase Briscoe wins race number 5, and the Bill France 4 Crown Championship trophy is his as well. Briscoe and Cunningham Motorsports in victory lane here at Chicagoland.
Capturing his 5th top 5 in the ARCA Series this season is John West Townley with a 2nd place. This is your best finish here in the ARCA Series at Chicago. Your previous 2 were DNFs. It's got to feel good to get a 2nd place, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got to thank Jive. All the guys on the team, did a great job. Unfortunately, we just didn't quite have the car for the 77. He's just been real dominant at the 1.5 miles. So we got to figure something out on our part. But they did a great job. It just wasn't our night.
Now you're racing here in the Truck Series later this weekend. Does this give you more confidence leading into that race?
It definitely helps. The trucks, they handle a whole lot differently. The boxy fill, gives you more downforce, and air moves you around a little bit more. But I mean, anytime you can be in a race car, it helps. So it was important to come out here and do this and prepare for tomorrow night.
That's John West Townley with another strong finish here in the ARCA Series.
Well, thank you, Heather. John West Townley will come home 2nd tonight, and he said, one thing that a lot of people might not know about him when we did that General Tire interview is that he plays the piano, and he's pretty good at it.
How about
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So John West with a 2nd place, but all the accolades going to Cunningham Motorsports and Chase Briscoe. Another big question for me, Phil, is what do you do with this young man next year? You've got a driver here that obviously has shown that he can compete at a high level on all kinds of different tracks and with very little experience.
Yeah, I think if somebody out there looking for a driver, they got to get this young man near the top of their list for sure.
His dad, a very accomplished sprint car driver over the years, and this young man has shown this year that he is certainly at the top of the notch here in ARCA. Now let's go back down trackside and check in with Heather.
Finishing in the 3rd place position is Christopher Bell. Christopher, you struggled with your race car all night with it being really tight. Were you able to correct that coming to the green there at the end?
Well, my guys did a really good job. They worked really hard on this Vince Marini Motorsports JBL Camry, and to come home 3rd after kind of how the whole night played out, it was a really good race for us. So just really thankful to be here, and glad General Tire supports the ARCA Racing Series. It's a lot of fun to come here and race, and 3rd place isn't where we want to be, but it's a good day for us.
Now, your good buddy Kyle Larson also told you that you'd really like this track because you get to move around a lot. Was he true in saying that to you?
Well, from what I saw, yeah, I know John West was up there running the top a lot, and I just barely got the top working there at the end, but my car was so tight, I just had to kind of stay on the white line and making sure I was clipping the apron to stay turning. But I wish I got to move around a little bit more, and it definitely was a really fun racetrack. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow in the Truck Series.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Jim?
A driver that's trying to make his way into more races as the season goes on and into next year is a Roush Fenway Racing Development driver. We talked about you at the beginning of the program, how much it means to you to run well here. You ran well. Kyle Weatherman, 4th here tonight, and a couple of wall bangers. They added to it.
Yeah, we don't give up until the end. So that was a lot of fun racing with Christopher there at the end, and obviously we like to have ran a little bit better, but it was part of it. Had a few things go on wrong with the car, so go back and get those fixed, and we'll be back at Kentucky.
How important is this for you, knowing that it's you, Tony Furr, and Greg Perkey, the only 3 guys that work on this race car, and another top 5 finish to back up Pocono?
It means a lot running against all these teams that have a lot of people working in the shop, and to have these 3 people here, including myself, working in the shop and get this thing ready is really cool, and glad we can run with these guys.
Lots of determination. Kyle Weatherman, 4th here tonight at Chicagoland.
Wentzville, Missouri, the home for that young man. He's been showing that they can do a lot with a very little, and they did a nice job tonight as Kyle Weatherman comes home in 4th. And the celebration continues down in Victory Lane for Chase Briscoe. We'll talk to more of your favorite drivers when we come back to Chicagoland. The 18th race of the season is complete for the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. The celebration continues. The Scott 150 goes to Chase Briscoe, and they are down in Victory Lane having a lot of fun with the crew, but we also had another guy in the top 5. That's car number 55, Dalton Sargent, and he's with Heather.
Capturing the top 5 here, Dalton Sargent. Dalton, you told me earlier today that this track looks like a smaller Michigan to you, and this is your first time on a 1.5 miles. Did it drive that way?
Yeah, I think it was everything that I kind of expected. Definitely a blast my first time here at Chicagoland. Super fun track to race at. Had a great car there at the end of the race. Definitely struggled in the beginning, but everybody at Venturini Motorsports did a great job working on this Windows 10 55 Toyota Camry, and we definitely salvaged a good finish there at the end, a top 5. Great points night for us, and definitely a blast coming here to Chicagoland.
And to add to that, this is Venturini's backyard, basically. How did it feel to race here and get them a good finish tonight?
It was good. I think, all drivers at Venturini Motorsports put on a good show, all finishing in the top 10. So really cool to be able to come here to sort of the team's home track and hometown. So it's always special when you come to a place like this. There's a lot of family here, and it's really cool.
Thanks, Dalton.
Thank you.
Jim, over to you.
Travis Braden came into this race expecting a whole lot about a brand new race car, new composite body, new chassis, and you guys were flat out junk in practice. Congrats on the comeback.
Thanks for the compliment there. Man, it was amazing. It was a miracle that we was able to run up front as close as we could today. I wish we would have had time to get it right and run for the lead there, but amazing. We were dragging the ground. Transmission was hitting the racetrack all day. The valence and everything was dragging. We had a lot of problems. So it was amazing that these guys took a brand new car, an hour of practice, and did what they did, and gave it their all, so I could give it my all in the race, and phenomenal job.
Big swings before qualifying. Qualified 18th, though. You had your work cut out for you. How fun was it racing here on this big track?
It was a lot of fun. Man, that first start, a couple guys kind of stalled out there, and we gained 3 or 4 spots in the first straightaway there. And then the next restart, I timed it pretty good and got to the outside and made it 3 wide and got way up into the top 5. So these races are hard to predict. You never know when you're going to get a restart like that. And the balance kind of came to us, went away, came to us. So it was fun to learn. Amazing.
Great job tonight. Travis Braden finishes 6th. He hopes to move on to Kentucky and Kansas pending funding, so this young driver needs a chance, and he certainly wants to get to Kentucky where he finished 2nd last fall, guys.
4 races for Travis Braden, Phil, and that's been a really impressive run for him to, well, tonight was 7th. Obviously, they're not totally happy with that, but when you look back at his finishes, a 1st, a 2nd, a 6th and a 4th coming into here, those are real good numbers for this young man.
Yeah, they certainly are. And I was talking to him before qualifying, and he said he would really love to go to Kentucky because they have a test on Tuesday there. So he said it would really give us time to work this new car out, work the bugs out of this new car. They made major strides today, as Jim mentioned, because he wasn't very good in practice, and he was pretty darn good in the race. So I think if they could get the funding to go to Kentucky, have that test on Tuesday, I think he would be a contender.
Briscoe's numbers have been phenomenal this year, but the last two drivers we heard from, Dalton Sargent, Travis Braden, both of those guys really with numbers that are fairly equal. Top 10s just about every time they come out, and a lot of top 5s. So we're seeing a lot of really good young talent right here in the ARCA Racing Series. All the celebration going to Chase Briscoe tonight. We'll wrap things up when we come back to Chicagoland. They've got a great looking victory lane here at the Chicagoland Speedway, and Chase Briscoe is celebrating down there as they do the hat dance. He and his team getting photos that they'll remember for a long time as he got his 5th win. Well, it was a wild night tonight for the number 17 of Ty Majeski. Here we saw John West Townley get down to the inside, and he had that thing sideways. I thought that was a big save, but then watch this.
Yeah, what an amazing car control he has. There's a 99 of Austin Cindric that gets in to Majeski, and that's not even the best save right there either. Watch this one now.
He's got that thing 25 or 30 degrees sideways, cranks the wheel right, drives right through it, comes down to the apron, and does a great job of saving that Potawatomi Ford. And guess what? Jim Trado is in the pits, and he's caught up with him.
And Ray, Ty just watched with us an experience that you won't forget for some time to come. Your first time on a 1.5-mile racetrack. How are you able to save that car so many times?
Yeah, it sure looks like I'm a regular racer on dirt, doesn't it? Man, it was just crazy out there. We had a really good run. You know, our car was really fast and clean air. And when I get up behind somebody, you know, we're on a steel body car and they have all composite, and those composites seem to poke a bigger hole in the air, and we're unable to get good runs on guys. We just stalled out when we got within 3 car lengths of them. But in clean air, we had a top 5 car, and the Potawatomi Ford Fusion was really fast. Can't thank all the guys at Rula Brothers and Roush Fenway enough for preparing me a great race car. Definitely a learning experience tonight. Learned a lot, and we'll take this momentum into Kansas.
Ty Majeski finishes 8th here after that run here at Chicagoland. Heather?
Bringing home a top 10 finish for Mason Mitchell Motorsports is Brent Sherman. Brent, this was your first time in a car since 2009 in a truck race here at Chicago. Talk about your run and how did it feel to get back out there?
It was amazing. The first couple laps, I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into here? But the car was stable, and I just worked at it, and we knew we had some speed, but I didn't get a mock qualifying run. So qualifying was a nice surprise. We were toward the front, really tough field, and you know, I don't feel like I've been away that long, but it's been a long, long time. But the car was comfortable, and I really can't thank these guys enough. It was great.
Thanks, Brent.
All right, thank you.
So Brent Sherman will bring home a 9th place tonight. Ty Majeski in 8th. So we've heard from most of the drivers who've gotten a top 10 tonight, and we've got a bonus break for you. We'll wrap things up here from Chicagoland Speedway right after these messages. All the action's complete tonight here at the Chicagoland Speedway, and they're celebrating in Victory Lane along with Chase Briscoe. Now tomorrow night there'll be a truck in that Victory Lane, and hopefully someone's going to try to secure a spot into the chase. If you want to keep up with what's going on tomorrow, 4:30 in the afternoon is qualifying. It's all on FS1. Then we'll have the setup show for you at 8 o'clock along with the Camping World Truck Series 225. That's at 8:30. It's all tomorrow night on FS1. You'll check out who's going to make the chase and run for the title in 2016.
Yeah, and there'll be a sleepless night for several guys tonight.
Beautiful full moon tonight here, and here's a look at our upcoming races. Next Friday night, we're at Kentucky. That's on FS2, and the championship will be decided at Kansas Speedway, 8:30 p.m. on October 14th on FS1.
A couple more races to win here. Chase Briscoe's got a firm lock on the championship, but there's still a couple of races to win.
5 victories this season for Chase Briscoe. That makes 7 for Cunningham Motorsports. It's been a dream year for this young man, and he's on his way to a championship. Tonight, he secured the Bill France 4 crown, and earlier this week, he got the Short Track Challenge brought to you by Protect Plus. So there was a lot of attrition tonight with a number of really good cars. Hope you enjoyed the action. We've got UFC coming up next on FS1. For Heather DeBoe and Jim Trado and Phil Parsons, I'm Ray Dunlap saying thanks a lot. We'll see you next time as we go ARCA racing from coast to coast.